Welcome to our Wednesday live chat in Nashville, Tennessee. As always, we have the amazing Burnett team. And part of being a team is when you cover for each other. And today we have Matt. Marty is out taking care of business for clients and making sure that things are handled of importance today. And Matt, you have brought us a special guest today, Randall Young, HVAC specialist. We're going to talk about that. There's a lot of things to know in this category, especially with you being a builder, Matt. And so let's talk about it. Great to have you both.
Yeah, thanks, Randall. Thanks for being here. Randall has been in the heat and air business for quite a while now, and him and his partner have grown a very successful business and done very well. And we use them on a lot of our new construction, but we also rely on them for advice with a lot of our clients, as they're buying and selling and things like that. So everybody's got a air conditioner and a heater in their house, and so there's all kinds of things that to be aware of, maintenance items, what's better, there's always questions. So I thought maybe we could bring Randall on. He could answer some of these questions.
I like that. Because it's so important, and we never know how much we need it until all of a sudden it doesn't work, or we don't have the right unit, and there's a lot of heat waves going on around the country right now. And in the winter there in Nashville, you guys, had some snowmageddons take place. So let's talk about the systems and your expertise, Randall. First of all, your background.
Well, I've been doing air for about 11 years now. Went to school for about 4 of those 11. It's just a passion, and it's just something that caught my eye at a young age. And who doesn't like to be comfortable, especially with all the technology we have in the world today. It's something that we've worked very hard at to get to where we're at, and we take great pride in what we do, from the smallest homes to the largest homes. And it's really just a part of our life. It's become a lifestyle more than a career or a job.
That's awesome. And so I know we're kind of talking about when things go wrong with the heat and air. When's it most likely that your air conditioner is going to go out? When it's like 110 degrees outside.
At the most inconvenient time, most of the time.
And that's what we don't want to happen, right?
Yes, and that's where preventative maintenance comes in. You should always have your unit checked out twice a year by a certified company, especially when you go from one season to another with a draft change. As here in Tennessee, we experience that quite frequently, week in and week out, some weeks.
Right.
I don't think people always think about having it just checked for maintenance. We always wait till we have that crisis, 20 minutes before you're hosting a dinner party for 30 people and your air conditioning goes out, right? So I love that you brought up, the maintenance factor. What does that require? What should people do? They just call and have it just a regular servicing come in? What do you guys look for?
Well, when we send somebody out on a maintenance, we always like to see, we want them to clean the unit, check the coils, dry the coils, and then they want to start checking capacitors, amp draws, all of your relays. We want to get the gauges on there and see where it's at. See, maybe if you're experiencing a minute leak, make sure that your ductwork's still all intact. We want to check your filters. We want to see, personally, if you have any hot spots in your home that, you're uncomfortable with, and things that we can do to help prevent future interruptions in the service your unit provides for you. And through cleaning your coils and checking all of those things, you can avoid a lot of those, catastrophes, if you will, burnt wires, nicked wires, anything like that. We try to be as thorough as possible at all times.
So I know one question we get, when we're working with buyers all the time, we're looking at a house that maybe is 7 years old, 10 years old. It has the original heat and air unit in it. So they always ask, well, how long do we have to replace it? And we've seen them all over the place. What's your thoughts? How old should a unit last?
It's kind of like a gamble, they tell us, the manufacturers tell us across the board, we sell many different manufactured units, and 10 to 12 years is standard practice. They say, I service some units that are older than I am, and they're still trucking along, and it's kind of become a little thing where we just try to keep them going. And most of the time we'd rather fix something than replace it if we can. But you're looking at anywhere between 10 to 12 years. With proper preventative maintenance and great care, you can get anywhere between 15 to 20 years out of a unit.
Yeah, and that's great. That's one question we get a lot. Another one that we get is, around here we see some gas heaters and some electric heaters.
Mm,
What is explain the difference maybe, and what is more efficient or less efficient?
My professional opinion, electric heat will never touch gas heat. Gas heat is far superior. And I believe that it is more efficient. If you look into something as a 96% unit variable speed, which we could get into all of that, SEER ratings and so forth. But electric heat, for me, just never really delivers what you're looking for on a cold January day. You got ice on your porch. That gas heat, I always tell my clients, it's like a warm bowl of soup. Electric heat, it's never going to do it. It doesn't get, for me, it doesn't get internal, and you're always going to be cold with electric heat. And I'm not dissing on electric heat in any form or fashion. Electric heat is good, but it's just never going to touch gas heat. Gas heat is far superior.
There you go.
When it comes to building, in new construction, which Matt, I know you're very versed in, and I know that Randall, you work a lot in the luxury homes. When you're dealing with the large, executive homes, what do you recommend as far as the size of the unit? Do you put one if it's multiple story? Do you got a whole separate unit upstairs versus downstairs? What do you require or advise as the most efficient?
So most of my luxury homes, if you will, the master bedroom is always on its own unit. The great room is always on its own unit. Then we divide up offices, depends on if they have libraries, so forth and so forth. Some people, they have athletic facilities within their homes. And we try to divide it out to where each room is completely controllable or the whole house runs completely as one unit. We always advise that they go with the SEER rating that most fits their budget, which we all know in a luxury home setting, there pretty much is no budget.
Must be nice.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It must be. But, we always try to deliver. We always try to deliver to what our clients request, whether it is, a 20 SEER dual fuel train, or if they want a 16 SEER Goodman. It's just kind of whatever, we give them a wide range to choose from, and we let them make their decisions. And we just try to offer the best information that we possibly can to help them along the way. Some of the luxury homes that we get into, you get into, they have extremely fancy kitchens. They're producing an immense amount of heat in their kitchens. So then you get into fresh air, makeup air. They've got their draft hoods. They're taking air out. You get into an ERV. They want to bring in air because their homes, most of them are all spray foam. They're so tight. It's required by code now that we bring in fresh air. One, that helps to keep the house at a more comfortable humidity level, and not so much of it just turns on, turns off, turns on, turns off, and it'll feel more comfortable in a sense.
Right. I know you mentioned, building the homes more tight now. We're seeing that over the years as the different codes are changing. With the blower door test, some places they'll make you put a fan at the front door when you're building a new house and suck air out of it to see how much air is actually moving inside the house and coming in through the walls. And so, foaming these extra cracks and all of these different things they're making us do in some places really does tighten up the home. And that, I guess it can make it more efficient or with a smaller unit. Is that right?
Yes, sir. You are correct. What that does, the tighter you get the home and the more well insulated you get the home, depending on closed cell, open cell, spray foams, and so forth like that, it tightens the home up. When you tighten the home up, they say that if you don't ever leave your home, you'll suffocate on your own air. That I still haven't figured that out yet, but
sounds too tight. Yeah.
through code, we're required to bring in air now, and that can be something as simple as 1,200 square foot house, and you put a timer on the exhaust fan, and it can get all the way up to 10,000 plus square where you're putting in ERVs.
So it also sounds like it's getting a little bit more complicated, as the codes progress, and it seems like it's always changing and more for you guys to keep up with, and for the homeowners to keep up with, and the builders to keep up with. It's always something, right?
Yes, sir. It is. It just as we move forward in society, trying to, develop and have better technology, it just seems like, they keep progressing it and progressing it. And now they've got it so tight that it requires you to seal the house up, and then they require me to open the house up. And I feel like sometimes they make us work against each other, and it's kind of unfair.
Right. Yeah.
Which is why every week we say, call the professionals. This is why Matt has brought you on, Randall, because they always bring in the best professionals in every category. And it's getting to a point with most things that it's not something people should just be taking on their own. You need to reach out to professionals because, like you guys know, when you're getting up to code on everything and working, like you said, against each other and with each other and making sure that it's all right, call the professionals. Don't tackle any of this on your own. If you're doing a new build, a new construction, or if you're, rehabilitating, you've bought a new house and you're fixing it up, you're putting a new unit in, upgrading, whatever that is, call the professionals. These guys know what they're doing. They're going to advise you correctly. Thank you both for such great expertise. We all want to be comfortable, don't we? We're spoiled.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you get people hollering at you. No, we need this fixed right now.
Yeah, more times than not.
So the definite takeaway here is maintenance. Don't let this sneak up on you and break in the middle of summer when you're dying or in the middle of winter when you're freezing. Have your units maintained and checked and prevent some of these pitfalls and call the professionals. Thank you both so much for being with me today.
Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, Randall, thanks a lot. Good to see you, bud.